I don't really know if you ever remember being in school. And in school, when I was there was always people telling you what to do, telling you your hair was too short, your hair was too long, or your shirt wasn't tucked in, or I don't know, your trousers were too short, you had to pull your pants up, or girls had to like have the skirts lower or shorter or something. I can't remember. They weren't allowed to have tattoos or piercings or have your boobs out, whatever, right? There's always people telling you to conform in some way. And then I just want you to think about those normal times when those kind of things were happening, and imagine for a second like if some of the rascal lads in your class came in and they were all wearing, I don't know, some kind of face covering, you know, like a music or gang symbol or a balaclava of some sort, and they just sat in a class like that. Pretty soon, I'm sure, in most schools, they'd be told to take it off. And if they even did take it off in classes, the way that people take off their face coverings now in classes, then you'd find that if they were wearing it at every other, available time and space, then people would have a right go at them. Like at some point, like the parents would get hold of them or something like that and say, what the hell are you doing covering up the holes that you breathe out of? That can't be good for you. There'll be bits of like material getting inhaled and stuck in your lungs. There'll be all kinds of bacteria. That rag will get dirty after a while. You need to wash it, you need to change it. Somebody's in a position of authority, or some guardian would say to them, listen lads, that can't be good for you. It cannot be good for you. In a normal world, that would be what would happen. And similarly, if you look around, like if you have, after a little while, if you had a little toddler at home or something, and you were keeping them at home all the time, someone would say, no, that's not good, that's not the way to bring up a child. Like some grandma would say, somebody would get involved and say, you can't keep your child away from other little people. He or she needs to be socialized. And the same for any young children of school age or teenagers. If you had a teenager and they just started staying at home and living on the computer, you'd think there's something wrong with this kid. They need to get out more. And the parents or the mom would be asking around saying, hey, to his cousins or somebody that they think he might look at or she might look up to, and say, get this kid out. He's at home all the time. He never goes out. I just need you to find something that can engage him that's just not the computer. There'd be something like that going on. But now because everybody else is doing it, people are accepting this as though it's normal, and it's absolutely not normal, and there's no way any of us should be accepting this as normal. And the same thing goes for grown adults, for people of working age and people out and about. If you hear of them saying this kind of theme of like, oh, where have they gone? Or they started isolating and we never saw them anymore, and then I just lost contact with him because I never saw him. He just sort of withdrew into his house, he never came out, I just started isolating. That's funeral talk, that's suicide talk, and that is what is happening. There's no way it's healthy for people to shut down businesses. If you said, oh, he's not going into work anymore, he's just at home, or he's just taking money off the state, nobody thinks it's healthy in a normal situation. It's not right, it is not normal. There is no way that someone pointed out to me, there's a false equivalence being made between some people have died, people are dying in the hospital, people have got a cold, people have got pneumonia, they've got the flu, they've got what we're calling COVID. The false equivalence is that, how does that equate to everyone else being locked in their homes? In 2018, 61,000 people, I'm informed 61,000 people died in January of 2018 of the flu. And nobody here batted an eyelid. Nobody gave a monkeys, right? So this idea that just because, there's a slight increase in winter respiratory diseases, everybody else should be locked in the home, is utter nonsense, and we should reject it outright. And if you agree with that, there is, and you know anybody who runs a pub, a restaurant, or a bar, there is a thing called the Great Reopening. And it's to echo what's been happening in Italy, where 50,000 bars and restaurants opened. To reject the government's mandates, and the government had to pull back, and so they sort of had a victory of sorts, and we can echo that here. It also happened, I think, in another country, off the top of my head, I think it's Poland, I don't know why I've forgotten that, but we can do it here, it's planned for the January the 30th, and I hope we can spread the word to all bars and restaurant owners, and hopefully it can spread throughout the world, because this stuff needs throwing out, because it's not in our interests.